Good morning. Welcome to this video. Today I woke up with this burning desire, almost this urgency to share, to share my heart, to share in vulnerability. And one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning was how this whole awakening process, this whole kundalini spiritual awakening unfolding, one of the major tenets, one of the major things is it's really all about creating a new relationship with pain, coming into a more loving, kind, and gentle and accepting relationship with our pain. So many of us weren't necessarily raised by enlightened masters. So when we were children and we were in a lot of pain, if our parents or our teachers or any other adults, if they couldn't take that pain away from us right away, if they couldn't, give us something to take it away, or if they couldn't soothe us to take it away right away, it would really start to make them feel very uncomfortable, very powerless. They would, and that feeling of, our parents, they just loved us so much. And if they couldn't take our pain away, it would just, it would start to make them feel very uncomfortable. And then they might lash out at our pain. They might tell us, just go to your room, get over it, just shut up. I can't, it would be too much for them. Our pain would start to make them feel very, like I said, very uncomfortable. And so we learned as children that, oh shit, when this pain comes up, I'm unsafe. When this pain comes up, the people that love me and that I depend on for my survival, it makes them uncomfortable. This pain is no good. This pain is threatening. So we learn as children that when these heavier emotions come up, whether that's anger, we were probably got in trouble a lot for being angry. We probably got in trouble a lot for crying too much. And then heard, just stop crying, please just stop crying. Or maybe we got in trouble a lot for having all kinds of depression. Maybe people told us, just cheer up, just feel better. Maybe our depression really made people. The thing is, when we're having so much of these emotions come up, we're really a lot of times reminding people of those own emotions in them, and that makes them uncomfortable. And if the adults in our life aren't safe with the pain in their body, then they're not going to be safe when our pain comes up as children. They're not going to know what to do with it. They're going to tell us to do with it they're going to tell us to do the same thing that they do with their pain, which is get rid of it as soon as possible, go eat something to feel better, take this pill, and then if that doesn't work, a lot of times we get people they might lash out. Their pain might lash out at our pain, right? Like, I don't want to feel my pain, so you stop feeling yours. And so as children, this is just ingrained in every cell of our body, that when I'm feeling good, that's when we get a reward, we receive love, people want to be around us. And when we're feeling bad, that's bad. That means that other people might not like us, we're not going to be accepted. And as a child, this is totally normal to take on these patterns, because it's really for our own survival. It really served us for a period of time. But the thing is, we take these beliefs and these programs about how our pain isn't safe to feel, about how if it comes up, other people aren't going to accept us and love us. We take these programs with us into adulthood. And this pain, it doesn't go anywhere. This trauma of when we were 7 and we were in massive pain and we needed someone to see us and hear us. And we were just told to shut up, go to your room, here, eat this sugar or eat this lollipop and feel better. that trauma of that event, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays in the body. All the pain that comes up through childhood and then into adulthood that we suppress and bury because we're afraid of what might happen, what others will think of us. We're afraid of the impending rejection if that pain was to surface. All that pain, it stays in our body. And it gets buried in our body, and then it starts, and like, if you read the biology of belief or anything about epigenetics, 90 to 95% of our life is determined by our subconscious. It's like our life is a printout of our subconscious beliefs and patterns. So this pain gets shoved down into our body, into our cells, literally into our DNA and nervous system, and then it starts controlling the subconscious. So much of awakening is creating this new relationship with our pain. This relationship where our pain, when it comes up, it's met with unconditional love. When pain comes up when we're a child and it's too much for people and it's told to just kind of go away, this pain starts feeling like a conditionality, like, oh, I can only, I can't come up, there's not unconditional love there. But through the awakening process, through becoming comfortable with feeling all of your feelings, with knowing that no feeling is wrong to feel, that they're all valid, that they're all worthy of the highest love. What we start doing is we start creating this more loving relationship with our pain. We start creating this space within us that is safe for pain, for wounds, for trauma to arise. And this is so beautiful because that 7-year-old boy, that 4-year-old, that whatever, that 10-year-old little girl inside of us, that little inner being that's wounded, that's been in our body this whole time, like I said, that trauma happened and it hasn't completed the circle yet. So he or she, that's how I refer to them, inner children, if they haven't had a chance to fully express their rage or their sadness, their depression, their fear, then they're still in there, like really just hurting. And the beautiful thing is when we create this safe space within us so that these little inner children, these wounded parts of us can arise without fear. They can come up and be like, oh, it's safe here. I can feel this rage. I can scream. I can cry finally. The beautiful thing that happens is this trauma, like when we were a child, it's able to complete the circle and release from our body, or you could say integrate into wholeness. We're reparenting all of this pain, all of these traumas. We're being the parent that this pain always needed, always wanted. We're being the parent that's willing to see the darkest parts, the most painful parts, the parts that bring us to our edge and beyond. And that's a huge part of this awakening process, is coming into an unconditional, loving relationship with our pain, to show it, to reteach it that it's safe here. And one of the things that I do when darkness arises, when an old wound arises, right now there's so much of this. There's so much coming up. Obviously, we can see in the collective, but especially in our own journeys. If you're already awake right now and going through all these intense energies, intense is an understatement, a lot of old stuff can come up, really old wounds. And what I like to do is I like to give this old, like this wound, like this, we'll just say this like 7-year-old inner child who's just really massively hurting. I like to just give him every ounce of my being. I let him breathe for me. I'll see through his eyes. And a lot of times when the 7-year-old child comes up who's in tons of pain, the world just looks like this fearful place. Like this 7-year-old, this inner child within us. It just doesn't feel safe in the world, right? It doesn't feel safe in this body. And so I'll see through its eyes. I'll let it breathe through me. I'll give it every ounce of this being. I'll let it just soak in every ounce of love that I have to give it. I'll have no walls with it. I just let this inner child up, and it can just have me fully as long as it needs me. It has 100% of me. I'm willing to see it with every ounce of my being, with every drop of love I have. I give it full attention. And in this way, this wounded inner child can come up, and at first it's scary, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm being seen. Last time I was seen, I was told to shut up, go to my room, stop crying, stop feeling. And now I'm up, okay. And then after a certain amount of time, this wounded inner child, it starts to be like, okay, there's love here, there's space here, I'm being seen, nothing awful is happening. And over time, as we do this, that layer, that wounded part of us, it just integrates into love, into what it's always really been, wholeness. When we let it literally take every ounce of our being, when we let it breathe us, when we see through its eyes, we're letting it soak in the love of God, the love of Source. And it starts to recognize itself as that, as Source, as God. And so that's what's really helped me on this journey so much, is just becoming safe with my pain. And as you become safe with your pain, with your feelings, you'll notice that life will start bringing you other people that need a place to be safe with their pain and their darkness and their wounded inner children. And you can be a space not only for yourself, but for this grieving and healing world right now. And I feel like if you're still watching this, that's what you're being called to do. You're being called to create a safe place within you. Not only for yourself, this path becomes very impersonal, but for the collective, for everybody. Everybody needs you, if you're still watching this, to create this beautiful, loving, safe space for your pain and your darkness. That's what you're here to do. It's not easy, but it's really, I think, the only way it can be for us. It's so natural once we get into that movement, and then it just takes on a life of its own. I'll say now, after doing this for about coming up on 3 years, when that inner child arises, when that deep, deep, deep darkness, that old wound comes up, there's just such an automatic movement now within me that's opening to it. Yes, please, what is it you have for me? You know, what, a lot of times this darkness, not a lot, I'll say always this darkness is medicine. Taking us deep, 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 deep into who we really are. So just opening and embracing this old wound. Right when it comes up, there's just this automatic movement that starts within me. And that's what starts happening, is that resistance to any pain, to any wounds, to any darkness, it just melts away. And it just feels safe to come up, to surface, to be felt, to be seen, and finally to be integrated. When you're feeling, you're healing. So, day 2 of getting back in front of the camera and really just starting to share from the heart. I hope that this was helpful. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Namaste.